From Vin Diesel's School for Wellness, Self-Actualization, and Mindfulness, this is Kurt Berglund with Pine Tar Baseball Negro League's Great Teams Tournament Action. This is the final Round 1, Game 1 that will take place in this tournament. It features the 1910 Chicago Lelands, which is a early version or a in-between version of the Chicago American Giants, one of the most famous and most enduring Negro Leagues franchises, and featured such amazing Negro Leagues ball players as Pete Hill, who was Cool Papa Bell before Cool Papa Bell, and might have been a better player, probably was. Shortstop Pop Lloyd, who was called the Black Honus Wagner, and Wagner said that that was a compliment to be compared to Pop Lloyd. So, pretty big-time stuff there. And tonight's pitcher, Frank Wickware, a side-arming, gangly ace of the staff, overworked as many of the aces of staffs were in the Negro Leagues, and for that matter, in the major leagues as well. And Wickware will be pitching tonight. They will be facing the 1942 Kansas City Monarchs. Now, the Monarchs are well known and considered to be one of maybe the top 5 Negro Leagues teams of all time, the 1942 edition that will be playing tonight. They feature such well-known players as Willard Brown, Satchel Paige, and Buck O'Neil. The interesting thing, or the really interesting thing about this matchup, is that the 1910 Chicago Lelands are a definite dead ball era team. That means a lot of speed, a lot of running, a lot of high averages, and put the pressure on the defense. The 1942 Kansas City Monarchs had some power, it had some pop. Ted Strong, Willard Brown, as I already said, and some others had some big-time power, and they had good pitching. The thing that separates the 1942 Kansas City Monarchs maybe from the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords of the 30s is the depth of their lineup. Wasn't quite as much of a murderer's row, if you want to call it that, as some of the great Crawfords teams or some of the great Homestead teams. But that's a small criticism when you look at the rest of the team. So what we have is a matchup of eras. This matchup is reflecting teams 32 years apart, and their style of play will reflect that as well. So, tonight it's Wickware versus Page, the Lelands versus the Monarchs, Game 1 of a best-of-3 series. I'm really glad you're with me, and let's get started with the lineups. All right, I'm very excited to get to the lineups and get this game started. I think this matchup is a very, very interesting one with a couple of teams that could certainly go deep in this tournament. So let's get started. For the visiting 1910 Chicago Lelands, leading off in left field, it's Frank Duncan. Batting second. This lineup, by the way, these are historical lineups often used by the teams. I researched these myself when we created the set. Pete Hill batted second in center field. Pop Lloyd bats third at shortstop. Grant Johnson, second baseman is cleanup. Andrew Payne bats fifth in right field. Pete Booker bats sixth at first base. Wesley Pryor bats seventh at third base. And Bruce Petway bats ninth and does the catching. You can see his arm at a minus 16. Very impressive. And batting ninth and on the mound for the 1910 Chicago Lelands is Frank Wickware. You can see he's got a pair of A-pluses going for him, but he could also hit a little bit. And so not an offensive millstone. So those are the 1910 Chicago Lelands. 14-man roster for this team. Here's the 42 Monarchs. Willie Sims leads off in left field. Bonnie Sorrell bats second at second base. Ted Strong bats third in right field. Willard Brown bats fourth at center field. Joe Green bats fifth and does the catching. Buck O'Neill bats sixth at first base. Newt Allen, finishing up a great and a long career, bats seventh and plays third base. And Jesse Williams bats eighth and plays shortstop. And on the mound for the 1942 Monarchs in Game 1 is somebody named Satchel Paige. Excuse me. He has, at home, he has an A-plus and an A rating with modifiers of 55 through 60 and 77 for strikeouts. Only 7 maximum innings pitched, so he could fatigue. Where Satchel's getting a little bit on in years, he was only going to pitch another, 23, 24 years after this. So, he was starting to slow down. But, and it's still an excellent pitcher nonetheless. All right, so the 42 Monarchs take the field. It's time for the 1910 Lelands to come to the plate, and Frank Duncan will lead off. The left-handed batting left fielder, Duncan, 307 in 1910. The pitch to him from Satchel Paige is a ground ball to Bonnie Sorrell, and he throws to Buck O'Neill for out number 1 in the first inning. We are underway in this round 1 game between these two heavyweights. Page against Pete Hill. Now, Pete Hill stands in. Definitely an all-time great. This ball is hit to center field. That's Willard Brown, who's going to make the catch for out number 2 in the first. And now it's Pop Lloyd, maybe the best player ever in Negro League's history. Certainly on a very, very, very short list. 371 in 1910 with a 562 on slugging percentage. The pitch to him, as soon as I say that, is strike 3. And that's Page's first strikeout of the game. It's a 1-2-3 first inning for Satchel. We'll go to the bottom of the first now with no score in Kansas City. Now it's Frank Wickware and his side-arming, submarining style going up against the 1942 Kansas City Monarchs. Willie Sims steps in, and the pitch. Hey, strikes him out for strikeout number 1 for Wickware. We are underway in the bottom of the first. Sims is gone. Bonnie Sorrell stands in, second baseman for the Monarchs. 360 on the season. Pitch to Bonnie is drilled to center. This is going to get over Pete Hill's head and one hop the wall. Sorrell will get to second base with a double with 1 out for Ted Strong, a 364 hitter on the season. Batting left, he's a switch hitter. Batting left against the right-handed Wickware. The pitch to Ted. Ground ball third, gloved by Pryor. He throws to first with Sorrell holding. There's 2 down in the first. And now Willard Brown. 338, big-time power. Wickware could pitch around him. They could go to Joe Green, but they're going after Willard early. And this is struck him out for strikeout number 2 for Wickware, and that gets him out of the inning. We've played 1, and we've got no score in Kansas City. We go to the top of the second, and for Chicago, it'll be Grant Johnson, Andrew Payne, and Pete Booker coming to the plate for the Chicago Lelands. Johnson stands in against Page. Satchel winds and delivers, and this is a base hit to left, just past the outreach of Williams, and Johnson is aboard with a single, and he's a threat to steal, as so many of these players were in the dead ball era. They're pushing the envelope, so we'll see what they want to do here. Green is a -12. That knocks Johnson down to a 62 if they decide to send him. Andrew Payne stands in, 243. Page to the belt, the pitch home. There goes Johnson. It's a strike. The throw down from Green to Sorrell is in time. They get Johnson trying to steal. And that's one man gone in the second. Payne took a strike. He's down in the count 0-1. Page winds and delivers. Hey, struck him out. That's 2 gone, and Page's second strikeout of the game. And now Pete Booker, first baseman, backup catcher, jack of all trades, 302 on the season. Pitch to him. Ground ball to Sorrell. He's going to throw to O'Neill, and that will retire the Lelands in the second. We go to the bottom of 2, and we are still scoreless in Kansas City. Had some pitchers duels in the first round so far. Wickware going to take on Joe Green, Buck O'Neill, and Newt Allen in the second for the Monarchs. Frank had a little trouble in the first, but he got out of it unscathed. The pitch to Green is chopped to third. That's gloved by Pryor. He's going to throw to Pete Booker, and that's going to be out number 1 in the second inning. Now it's Buck O'Neill standing in, 280. And here comes Wickware's pitch to right field. This is going to be Payne, and Andrew takes it for out number 2. And here comes Newt Allen, 304, in pretty much 50% duty at third base. Played a little second base, played a little left field. 2 out, nobody on. The pitch from Wickware to Newt Allen is a base hit. He goes the other way to right field. Probably the way you should hit Wickware. Allen's aboard with a single, and now it'll be Jesse Williams coming to the plate with 2 outs and 1 man on. Wickware to the belt. He checks Allen at first. The pitch to Jesse Williams to center, but not deep. Pete Hill is there, and he makes the catch for out number 3 in the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third, and we're scoreless between these 2 great pitchers, Page and Wickware. For the Lelands, it'll be Pryor, Petway, and Wickware coming up in the top of the third. Wesley Pryor, 238 average. The pitch from Page. And look at Pryor hanging in there against a Page breaking ball. There's a base hit up the middle, and he's aboard with nobody out. Petway comes to the plate. Bruce, 267. Could handle the bat a little bit. See if they decide to put a play on. Page to the belt. Pryor works on his lead. The pitch home to Petway. Bruce squares to bunt, and he gets it down. It's gloved by New Allen. He throws to Sorrell covering to complete the sacrifice, and that moves Pryor to second base. So with one out and Wickware coming up, Duncan, the top of the order, is on deck. Wickware wants to help himself and drive in a run off Satchel Paige. Pryor works on his lead. Petway made the out. And here comes the pitch to Wickware. Hey, struck him out. 2 gone. Strikeout number 3 for Page. He's allowed 2 hits so far, and now it's Frank Duncan with maybe the last chance in the inning to drive in that go-ahead run. Pryor at second base. The pitch from Page. Duncan swings, and that's a base hit to right. Ted Strong charging hard. He has a gun, but they are going to send Pryor. They're waving Pryor in. So 0-20. Strong's throw will be in time, and it's late. Pryor scores standing, and it's 1-0 Lelands as the Lelands break through in the 3rd inning against Satchel Paige. So now Duncan's at first. Pete Hill is stepping in. Pete only hit .413 in 1910, and Paige wants to hold him here. Duncan works on his lead. Page to the belt. The pitch home to Pete Hill is lifted to center. And this is going to be Willard Brown with plenty of room. And he'll make the catch to retire the Lelands. But they break out on top and lead this game 1-0 after 2.5. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be Page and then the top of the order, Sims and Sorrell for the Monarchs. Wickware back out. He has not pitched perfectly, but he's pitched effectively. There's no score from the Monarchs in the first 2 innings. Page stands in. The pitch from Wickware. Ground ball short. This is Pop Lloyd, and he's going to throw to Booker for out number 1 in the 3rd. As Page is retired. Now it's Willie Sims. Willie is 0 for 1. He struck out to lead off the bottom of the 1st inning. Sims. The pitch from Wickware. Ground ball Pop Lloyd. He gloves it and throws to Booker. There's 2 gone. And now Bonnie Sorrell. A .360 hitter. Bonnie doubled in the 1st. There's 2 outs and nobody on. Wickware's pitch. Is driven to center. Another one over Pete Hill's head. It's going to one-hop the wall. And Sorrell with his 2nd double of the game. With 2 outs, he's in scoring position for Ted Strong, the tying run. Ted Strong, .364 with a .561 slugging mark. Wickware with first base open. The pitch home. That's grounded to Grant Johnson, who's going to, at second base, who's going to throw to Pete Booker, and that will retire the Monarchs in the 3rd. One more time, the Monarchs have an opportunity but fail to deliver. And so Page will come back out to face the meat of the Lelands order, as it'll be Lloyd, Johnson, and Payne coming up to lead off the 4th inning. Pop Lloyd is 0 for 1. Page winds and delivers. Hey, we've got an error check. He hits it hard. Let's see where it goes. It goes to Sorrell. Let's check his error rating. He's a 4. And that's a 1 base error on Bonnie Sorrell as Lloyd is aboard, ready to cause all kinds of problems. So the first error of the game, and Lloyd is aboard. He can run, so we'll see if they decide to put a play on. They're up 1-0, Johnson at the plate. Johnson singled and was caught stealing in the second inning. Page to the belt. The pitch to Grant Johnson. Ground ball, Newt Allen. Newt stumbles and then throws to O'Neill to retire Johnson as Lloyd slides into second base safely. So Johnson advances Lloyd with a ground out. And now it's Payne coming to the plate. Andrew Payne, 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the second inning himself. Page to the belt. Checks Lloyd at second base. The pitch home to Payne. Is grounded to Newt Allen. And let's see, he's going to check Lloyd at second and make the throw to O'Neill. So Lloyd holds at second base. And with 2 outs now, and Lloyd still at second, it's Pete Booker with a chance to drive in the second run of the day for the Lelands. Pete is 0 for 1. Page to the belt. The pitch home to Booker. Hey, struck him out, and Page gets out of another jam. This time with his 4th strikeout of the day. We've played 3.5, and the Lelands are up 1-0 on the Monarchs. Wickware coming back out, and he gets the not really a pleasure of dealing with Willard Brown, Joe Green, and Buck O'Neill, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters of the Kansas City Monarchs. Brown is 0 for 1. Pitch from Wickware. Lifted to left. Duncan is back, but he's got room, and that's the first out of the 4th inning for the Monarchs. Here comes Joe Green. Joe's 0 for 1. Wickware handling this lineup so far. The pitch, and as soon as I say that, like clockwork, it's driven to left field, down the line, past Pryor at third, and into the corner. Green is going to make his way to second base with another double. Wickware's allowed 4 hits, 3 of them doubles, but so far, no runs as Green is at second. And here comes Buck O'Neill. Buck O'Neill, 0 for 1 on the day. He can tie the game with a hit. Wickware to the belt. Checks Green at second. There's only 1 man out. The pitch to O'Neill. Hit to right. Charging in is Payne, and he's going to make the catch. Green will hold at second, and here comes Newt Allen with 2 outs, and Green still at second. Allen is 1 for 1. Jesse Williams is on deck. The pitch from Wickware. This is trouble. It's a base hit to right. Allen goes the other way again. Green around third. Are they going to wave him? No, they're not. Joe Green not too quick. So he's going to hold at third, and there's men at the corners for Jesse Williams. So anybody else but Joe Green scores on that, but not Joe. So first and third, Green at third, Allen at first, and Jesse Williams coming to the plate. Page is on deck. Wickware to the belt. Jesse Williams 0 for 1 today. The pitch to him from Wickware. This is grounded to Grant Johnson. He's going to go the short way to Pop Lloyd, covering second for the force that ends the inning. So one more time, the Monarchs threaten but do not score. And we go to the top of the fifth. It's 1-0 Lelands. Page will face Pryor, Petway, and Wickware, the bottom third of the Lelands order in the bottom of the fifth. I'm sorry, in the top of the fifth. Pryor is 1 for 1. He scored the only run of the game so far. The pitch to him is grounded to Jesse Williams. He's going to throw to Buck O'Neill for the first out of the fifth inning. One man gone. Now it's Bruce Petway. Bruce bunted successfully back in the third inning. And I'm dropping dice left and right. The pitch to Petway from Page is hit to right. This has Strong on the run toward the line, but he's going to get there for out number 2. And that'll bring up Wickware with 2 outs and nobody aboard for the Lelands. Page has righted the ship since his trouble in the third. Wickware 0 for 1. The pitch from Page. Hey, struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Satchel, and it's a 1-2-3-5 for Page. We go to the bottom of 5, and it's 1-0 Lelands in Kansas City. Page gets to lead off the bottom of the fifth, and we go to the top of the order with Sims and Sorrell. Page is 0 for 1. The pitch from Wickware. Hey, struck him out. That's strikeout number 3 for Frank. And there's one gone in the fifth. Now it's Willie Sims. Willie is 0 for 2. Pitch from Wickware. And it's going to drop in left field right in front of Duncan as Sims is aboard with a single with 1 out. And here come the problems. Sorrell, then Strong, then Brown. The big pieces of the offense for the Monarchs. Sorrell 2 for 2 with a couple of doubles. The pitch from Wickware. Base hit left, drops in front of Duncan. Sims is around second and will make third as Duncan's throw comes into second base to keep the double play in order. There are Monarchs at the corners with 1 out in the bottom of the fifth. Strong 0 for 2 comes to the plate. The Lelands are going to play back for a double play. Wickware to the belt, checks the runners. The pitch home to Strong. This is grounded to Johnson. Grant goes to Lloyd for the force at second. The relay to Booker at first is not in time as Strong beats the wrap at first. That brings home the first run of the game for the Monarchs as Sims crosses the plate. There are 2 down, but because Strong beat the relay to first, he gets the RBI, and he has driven in the tying run. Now it's Willard Brown against Wickware. A 1-1 game. We're brand new again in the bottom of the fifth. Willard Brown is 0 for 2. Strong works on his lead. The pitch from Wickware is hit to right. Payne coming on and will make the catch for the third out. So the Monarchs could have done a lot more damage, but this time when they threatened, they actually came through and scored. We have played 5 and decided nothing. It's 1-1 in Kansas City. Satchel Paige, with a new lease on life, will face the top of the Lelands order. Duncan, Hill, and Lloyd. A thankless task, if ever there was one, for a pitcher. Duncan stands in 1 for 2 with the ribby that the Lelands have in this game. Hey, struck him out. That's 1 gone. Strikeout number 6 for Page in the top of the 6th. And that'll bring up Pete Hill, maybe their best player. It's him or Lloyd, best players on this wonderful team. Page winds and delivers a comebacker, glove by Satchel. He throws to O'Neill for the 2nd out in the 6th inning. And now it's Pop Lloyd. Pop Lloyd, 0 for 2, reached on an error and almost, but not quite, scored in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch to Pop. Drilled to left. This is going to get over Sims' head and one hop the wall there. Pop Lloyd with a double. And there's 2 outs now for Grant Johnson. His nickname, Home Run. Because back in those days, it didn't take too many to get you that nickname. 1 for 2, caught stealing in the 2nd. Page to the belt, checks Lloyd at second base. The pitch home to Johnson. Ground ball Williams. He's going to throw to O'Neill, and that will retire the Lelands in the 6th. They threaten but do not score. Page bends but does not break. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 1-1 is our score. For the Monarchs in the bottom of the 6th, it's Green, O'Neill, and Allen. 5, 6, and 7 in the order for the Monarchs. Green, 1 for 2 with a double. Wickware winds and delivers. Hit to center. This is Pete Hill into left center a little bit, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up O'Neill, who's 0 for 2. This has an extra innings feel to it for me. I don't know. The pitch to O'Neill. Hit to center. Pete Hill, dead in his tracks, makes the catch for out number 2. And now Newt Allen. 2 outs with nobody aboard. Wickware has recovered since last inning. Newt is 2 for 2 in the game. Loop to right. Here comes Payne. He's going to get there, and he makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 6th for Frank Wickware and the Chicago Lelands. We've got 3 innings to go. It's 1-1 in this one. Page back out. He'll face Andrew Payne, Pete Booker, and then Wesley Pryor. Payne stands in. The right fielder for the Lelands is 0 for 2 with a strikeout on the day. Page winds and delivers. This is to right and deep. Drives strong back, but he's going to get there, and that's out number 1. Booker stands in. Pete's 0 for 2. The pitch from Page. We are in the 3rd time through the order. That makes Page an A, which makes this a fly ball center field. And Willard Brown is going to get there, and that's 1 gone. It's 2 gone. And now Pryor. Wesley Pryor stands in. 2 outs, nobody aboard. 1 for 2. He scored the only run for the Lelands. The pitch to him is strike 3 called. 7th for Page. We've played 6.5. We're still tied at 1 in this grudge match of a first-round game. Wickware back out. He'll get Williams, Page, and then the top of the order with Sims, the 8-9-1 batters for the Monarchs. Jesse Williams is 0 for 2 for the day. Wickware winds and delivers. This is chopped. Infield, high hop, off Wickware's glove. Williams is going to beat it out, and he does. Infield hit for Williams, and that'll bring up Page. Not a brilliant bunter, but they may ask him to do it nonetheless. Williams is the lead run, and he's on first base. Sims is on deck. Wickware to the belt. The pitch to Page. He squares. He bunts. He gets it down. Taken by Pryor, who throws to Johnson covering, and that will be a completed sacrifice. As Williams moves to second base, Page gets the job done. Kansas City fans show their appreciation as Satchel not only is pitching a fine ball game, but moves the runner up. Sims at the plate. Willie is 1 for 3. Wickware, another jam on his hands. Sims also scored the only run for the Monarchs so far. This one is strike 3 swinging. Wickware comes back and gets him. That's strikeout number 4 on the day for Frank. And with 2 outs now, it's Bonnie Sorrell. Ted Strong on deck behind him. So walking people isn't going to help. Sorrell is 3 for 3. A pair of doubles. If he gets a hit this time, Jesse Williams is going to deliver the lead run for the Monarchs. Wickware to the belt. Pitch to Sorrell. This is driven to center. Base hit over Johnson's head. Here comes Williams around third. They're going to wave him. Pete Hill gloves it, and he's going to throw home. He's got an excellent arm. Williams running home. The throw coming to Petway from Pete Hill is not in time. Williams is safe sliding, and Sorrell, with his 4th hit of the day, delivers the second run for the Monarchs. They've come all the way back to take the lead at 2-1. Sorrell is now at first. Ted Strong comes to the plate. Wickware, his problem's not over. 1 out. Strong 0 for 3. He does have an RBI. The pitch to Ted. To left. Hit high and deep. Duncan is back to the track. He's got it for out number 2. Sorrell retreats to first base. And Willard Brown comes to the plate. They're going to walk Willard at this. No, they're not. Sorry. Thought Sorrell was on second. He's not. He's on first. They're going to go after Willard Brown. Wickware to the belt, checks Sorrell at first. The pitch home to Brown, who's 0 for 3 in the game. Base hit Brown, of course. A looper over shortstop, over Pop Lloyd's head. It lands in front of Pete Hill. Sorrell will stop at second base. And that'll bring up Joe Green with 2 on and 2 outs and a 2-1 lead for the Monarchs. Joe Green, 1 for 3 with a double on the day. Wickware to the belt. The pitch. This is smashed. Error check. At Grant Johnson. Johnson boots it. It's going to be an error, and it's going to score Sorrell with the 3rd run of the game. Brown will go all the way to third as it clangs off Johnson's glove. So now it's first and third for the Monarchs. It's 3-1, and Buck O'Neill comes to the plate. A big 3-run seventh off Wickware. O'Neill. If he comes through, it's 4-1. Wickware to the belt. Checks Brown at third. Checks Green at first. The pitch home. Ground ball Johnson flips to Lloyd and redeems himself, sort of, but the Lelands surrender 3 runs. Excuse me, they surrender 2 runs. It's now 3-1 Monarchs after 7 innings of play. So they've given Page a 2-run lead to work with. It's 3-1 as we go to the 8th. Page is pitching well, so he's going to keep going. For the Lelands, it's Petway, then Wickware, unless they hit for him, which they could do. But the bench is slim, my friends. The bench is slim. Yeah, well, let's see if Petway gets on. Bruce stands in against Page. They're down by 2. It's 3-1 Monarchs. Bruce Petway 0 for 1 with a bunt. The pitch home. It's a broken bat, but it's going to die happy as it lands in front of Willard Brown, and it's a base hit for Petway. He's aboard with a single. Now, oh boy, this is hard. This is like, reminds me of when I was coaching my high school, in my high school coaching days, when your bench is short. They're going to let Wickware bat. Yeah, they're going to let Wickware bat. Okay, so Petway's aboard at first. Wickware's 0 for 2. Pitch from Page. Hit to left. Willie Sims is calling, and he's going to make the catch for out number 1 in the 8th. Now it's Duncan. Pete Hill on deck. Petway still at first. 1 man out. Page to the belt. The pitch. Ground ball. Sorrell. He goes to Williams for 1. The relay to O'Neill is not in time as Duncan's speed beats the wrap. And that will bring up Pete Hill with 2 outs now and Duncan on first. Pete Hill is 0 for 3. Page clinging to life, tying run at the plate. The pitch home. Hit to center. Willard Brown calling and makes the catch to end the threat. We've played 7.5, and it's 3-1 Monarchs in Game 1 of this best-of-3 series. Whew. Wickware comes back out for the bottom of the 8th. Newt Allen comes to the plate. It's going to be the bottom third of the Monarchs order. Allen, then Williams, then Page. Unless they hit for Page. Allen's 2 for 3. Wickware winds and delivers. Hit to center. Pete Hill on the run will get there. And there's the one out in the 8th. Now it's Jesse Williams, who singled and scored the tying run at that time, the tying run of the game, last inning. Wickware winds and delivers, and this is a base hit for Williams to left. It falls in front of Duncan, and he's aboard with his second hit of the day. That'll bring up Page. He successfully bunted last time. Are they going to give him those instructions again? Wickware to the belt. The pitch, Page squares, Page. Right back to Wickware. He whirls and throws to Lloyd covering second, and the relay is not in time. So Page beats the rap, gets a fielder's choice at first, but does not get the bunt down successfully. He is now the base runner at first. Sims is at the plate, and he is 1 for 4. He has scored a run in the 5th to tie the game. I'm sorry, I misspoke before when I said Williams' run tied the game. Williams' run in the 7th actually took the lead for the Monarchs. Wickware to the belt. The pitch home to Sims is a range check. Get to the kitchen. We need a range check. And this one is to third. That's Payne. Payne gloves it. Throws to Booker, and that will retire the Monarchs in the 8th. Wickware goes 8 innings and allows 3 runs. It's do or die time for the Lelands because it's the top of the 9th and Page is coming back out. Let's see, the Monarchs have some action going in their bullpen. Connie Johnson and Jim Lamarck. No, not Jim Lamarck. How do they want to play this? They're going to go Connie Johnson and Hilton Smith warming up in the bullpen for the Monarchs. For the Lelands, it's the meat of the order. Pop Lloyd, Grant Johnson, and Andrew Payne. 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up. Lloyd is 1 for 3. The Monarchs are ahead 3-1. We're in the top of the 9th. Page trying to close the deal. The pitch to Lloyd. Is hit to center. And this is Willard Brown making the catch for out number 1 in the 9th. Now it's Grant Johnson. Page facing Johnson. Johnson's 1 for 3. Nobody aboard. The pitch from Page. Range check. Get to the kitchen. To left. That's Sims. Sims will not get there. It drops for a base hit. Grant Johnson with his second hit of the day. That's going to bring up Payne. And that's going to be it for Page, as Buck O'Neill's going to make a change right now. I'll give you Page's numbers. And he's going to bring on Connie Johnson. Try and finish the game. Johnson's got some control issues, but he is an effective pitcher when he's got his stuff. Page went 8 1/3 innings. He allowed 6 hits. He struck out 7. He walked None. He allowed 1 run so far, although Johnson is his responsibility on first base. The run is earned. It was not a home run. Johnson is an A pitcher at home. He can go 3 innings in relief. He has walk modifiers 55 to 60 and 77, so control is an issue. Hilton Smith is still throwing in the bullpen. Hilton, a fantastic pitcher, but didn't have his best year in 42, so Buck O'Neil may need him, but he's not going to him right now. Payne, 0 for 3, is at the plate. Pete Booker is on deck. Neither man has a hit today. Johnson to the belt. He checks Johnson at first. The pitch home is a ground ball to Williams. Jesse throws to O'Neil. They let Johnson advance to second and take the out at first, and there's 2 down now for Pete Booker. So Johnson's at second. There's 2 outs in the 9th. The Monarchs lead 3-1. This could be the last chance for the Lelands in this game. Connie Johnson to the belt. He checks Johnson at second. Grant Johnson at second. The pitch home to Booker. Lifted in the air to left. Sims on the run. Toward the line. He's got it. And the 1942 Monarchs take game 1 by a score of 3-1 over the 1910 Chicago Lelands. These are best of 3 game series, and so that first game is even more important than it usually is. All right, let's talk about the totals. For the victorious 1942 Kansas City Monarchs, 3 runs on 11 hits, and they committed 1 error. For the vanquished 1910 Chicago Lelands, 1 run on 6 hits, and they committed 1 error. Feels like I'm missing an error there somewhere, but maybe not. All right. The winning pitcher is Satchel Paige. He's 1-0. The save goes to Connie Johnson. His first, obviously. It's the first game of the tournament. The losing pitcher is Frank Wickware, who, despite the 11 hits, deserved a better fate. The Lelands just couldn't score more than 1 run off of Paige. We'll see how that changes, or if it changes, in Game 2. Thank you so much for joining me. This completes the first game in the first round series. So we're coming back to Game 2 now of each series with the Chicago American Giants, the 1917 ball club, at the 1931 Chicago American Giants. So that'll be an interesting matchup as the 17 club took game 1 in that series 2-0. That will be your next game featured in the Pine Tar Baseball Negro League's Great Teams Tournament. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great night. My name's Kurt Berglund. So long, everybody.